Sweaty Cop Amigos, Texas Russ coming at you from Pattaya, Thailand. Found a beautiful spot here. Got some guys fishing, boats passing by, parasailers. Beautiful day here in the land of smiles. I'm going to talk to you guys today about Ladyboys. There's a lot of people joking about them. There's a lot of people asking about them. And if you come to Thailand for a week or two for vacation, yeah, you'll come home with a Ladyboy story. They are everywhere, and pretty much everything you've heard is pretty much true. Anyway, I've got a few Ladyboy stories. I'm not into that type of thing, but these are interesting stories. You know, I'm not judging anybody. If that's what you're into, then so be it. But these are not going to be offensive stories. I want to tell you about my first encounter with the Ladyboys on one of my very first trips here. I was, I guess my second trip, I met a guy on the plane who wanted to show me Bangkok because I never went to Bangkok before. I came straight to Pattaya. You know, I'd spend the night in Bangkok one night and then take a bus or a taxi and come straight to Pattaya like the next day. He said, "You never been to Bangkok?" And I said, "No, I never spent any time here." So he wanted to show me where he liked to hang out. And the next day I took him up on that offer because it's nice to have a guide, you know. So he was your typical tourist, likes to hang out where the nightlife is and stuff like that. I'm not really into the nightlife. I'm a go to bed early, get up early kind of guy, not a drinker or party or anything, but I book a hotel in the Nana Plaza area, and I'm still jet lagged and everything, so I go out. I wake up 4:30 in the morning, which is 4:30 in the afternoon Texas time, and I'm starving to death. And I know like the bars have just shut down, and the street food vendors, they come out. And I'm thinking, I'm gonna go downtown, you know, just walk out and walk down the street a few minutes and find the food vendors out on the streets and buy some soup or something, you know. So that's what I did. I'm coming back to my hotel, and there's actually a soy. Then there's a small narrow alley that I have to go through to get to this hotel. It's kind of hidden up in the alley, and it's a really nice hotel, by the way. But in the alley, there's your typical knockdown bamboo tin shed bar that everybody thinks is all over Thailand, but it's really not. But there's one in the alley, and there's usually 3 or 4 people hanging out and somebody behind the bar. And I walk past the bar, and I've got one foot on the step, and I hear this very pretty Thai lady. She calls me, and I stop and I turn around, and she walks up to me. She puts one hand on each side of my neck, and she goes, "Where are you going?" And I said, "I'm just going back to my room." And as we're talking, I'm noticing this is maybe one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. She is absolutely stunning, amazingly beautiful. She has long, straight black hair, a tiny little waist, wearing a spandex top with push-up bra. Her boobs are popping out of the top of it. She's got straight, beautiful, pretty white teeth, just drop dead gorgeous. So she's got one arm on each side of my neck and asked me where I'm going. I said, I'm just going up to my room. I'm going to call it a night. And she goes, "Why don't you take me with you?" And man, I got to tell you, you know those movie scenes where you got an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other shoulder? And the devil's like, "Yeah, do it.
Okay. Do it. Mm-hmm. Do it."
You know? And I'm like, so I look over here and the angel's going, "Well, you heard the man?
You can do it!"
She is gorgeous. And I'm thinking, you know, I deserve this. I really was. And it's so out of my wheelhouse. I'm not into that kind of thing at all. And man, I got to tell you, I was very tempted. And while I'm having this mental battle with my morals. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, I got this like Spider-Man sense. And I just looked her dead in the eye and I said, "Are you a lady boy?" And man, her jaw dropped. And she's like, and she was baffled that I could tell, but I couldn't tell. That was a weird thing. I'd never asked anybody that before. I don't know why I asked, because there was no telltale signs. She didn't have the Adam's apple. She didn't have long fingers. She didn't have broad shoulders. And I say she because definitely looked like a she. But anyway, I kind of patted her on the shoulder and I said, "Well, you're really good." I said, I had no idea, and I don't even know why I asked, but man, you had me fooled. And I said, "No, that wouldn't work for me, but thanks, but no thanks." And that seemed like it made her feel a lot better, so she got up and walked off. But yeah, it's been my finding that the most beautiful women in Thailand, the most beautiful ones aren't women. So you can straight up ask. Best way to tell if you're talking to a lady boy is just straight up and ask, "Are you a lady boy?" The women here, they know the score. They are not offended by that at all. Other than physically checking, that is the only way that you're going to know whether you're dealing with a lady boy or a real woman. In a lot of cases, now there's there's different levels of this trickery. That's the thing about me. I don't like to be fooled. I like to. That's a bad terminology, but I like to get what I'm paying for. That's not what I mean. You know what I mean. It's just a term we use. But yeah, I like to. I don't like disguises, man. I like my men to look like men. I like my women to look like women. Anyway, yeah, that was my first encounter. Anyway, there's one ladyboy story. I've got another one. Matter of fact, this was on the same trip. It's on my second trip ever to Thailand. Once I got in the country, man, that trip was wonderful. I may have some pictures. I'll see if I can throw a couple up while I'm talking, just to keep you guys interested. Not that this isn't a beautiful scene back here, but I went to Phuket, got on a plane, flew to Phuket, just like 35 bucks or so. Hopped on a ferry and went out to Phi Phi Island. And oh my gosh, that is, I think that's the most beautiful place I've seen anywhere on the planet. And I've been up to the Rocky Mountains and they're spectacular. Everybody needs to go try snow skiing once, at least get up on the lift and go up to the the lodge, halfway up the mountain or something, have a coffee drink or something, and just look at the mountain range all around you. That's absolutely breathtaking. But Koh Phi Phi absolutely blew the Rocky Mountains out of the water. Absolutely gorgeous, the most beautiful water I've ever seen. I went snorkeling, had a great time. I had the friend of mine from Nong Khai. I used her for a guide on my first trip and a translator. And this trip was not very long after my first trip. Just several months later, I was back in Thailand because I loved it so much. And I booked 3 weeks, and I took her with me to Koh Phi Phi. Wasn't going to, but she's so much fun. I just had to. I'm like, man, if I go by myself, I thought after the first trip I could probably handle that. But I thought, you know what? She's going to keep me out of trouble. By trouble, I mean keep other Thai girls and lady boys from chasing after me and stuff like that. And I thought, there is no way I'll have as much fun without her as I'll have by taking her with me. So we went together, and we both flew back to Bangkok for my last night. And she was going to go to take a plane and go back to Nong Khai. I was taking my plane back to Dallas Fort Worth Airport. I told her that evening, the day before my flight took off, I said, let's go have one beer in Bangkok, before I have to leave. So we got dressed up, we went out, and there was like 2 bars across the street from the hotel. And I didn't have my glasses on, but I looked across the street, all the bars put out 4 pretty girls in front of each bar, and they wave the guys, the customers in. They're like, welcome, Ka, welcome, Ka. So I walk outside. I didn't have my glasses on, and I look, and I think the girls on the left bar look a little bit more attractive than the girls on the right bar. So before we get halfway across the street, I tell her, I said, let's go to that bar. And I point. We start walking that direction, and about halfway across the street, I go, oh, those aren't girls. And I thought, you know what the heck, I'm not so uptight that I can't go over there. I'm just gonna go have a beer. I've got her with me, so nobody's gonna be, trying to hit on me and stuff. And I'm not so uptight. It's gonna be a quick evening anyway. Just go over there, drink 1 beer, go back and get ready for the trip. Well, we walk across the street. As luck would have it, there's, 2 empty bar stools right there on the rail at the front. These have big garage doors that roll up, and the best seats are there at the railing by where that garage door rolls down. That way you can see all the action that's going out on the street. So we can see the 4 Ladyboys that are out there trying to wave in customers. And then you can kind of sit sideways so you can see the street this way, and you can see what's going on in the bar this way. So we get there. There's a mama-san sitting down to my left, and another Ladyboy, and there's a really drunk Australian guy, and he's in there with one of his buddies. And the drunk Australian, they're playing like MTV stuff on the TV. The drunk Australian guy's keeping himself really entertained. He's like butchering all the songs and slapping his knee and laughing, and he's just having a hoot, So I look to my left, and at the pool table is his Australian buddy shooting pool with a woman. And I'm looking at, I can only see the woman from behind. She's wearing the green, emerald green dress with the dragon tattoo up the back and everything. The back's open, little thin waist, and long hair down to her waist, wavy blonde hair. And, skinny little arms, all feminine looking and everything. And she's chalking up a pool cue, and I'm looking at her from behind, and I'm going, ooh, I wonder what she looks like, So I'm really waiting on her to turn around. And when she turns around, I swear she looked like Lurch from the Addams Family in the face. She had a big old Adam's apple. Her fingers looked like they were 10 inches long. And I go, oh, that's ugly, man. That's a dude.
It's a man, baby.
Anyway, I'm like cringe. I'm like, oh, dude. So that in itself was pretty funny, I thought. But as the night goes on, these guys really didn't seem to be into the Ladyboys either. They're just over there drinking, shooting pool, probably there because they had decent beer prices, and the place was empty and they had the pool table to themselves. So I'm sitting there, and these motorcycle carts with the canopies over the top, one of those comes driving up. And I thought that was funny too, because the guy's got, pardon my bluntness, but I just call them whore dresses. So they've got whore dresses swinging on hangers, in the cart. He comes driving up there on his motorcycle, and there's a rope light around the top of the canopy, so they're all lit up and everything. And those 4 Ladyboys, they run over there like this. And they circle that cart, and they're all looking at the dresses. And I'm nudging my friend over here saying, I am so glad that I wasn't too uptight to come over here and enjoy this, because this is really fun. I'm having a good time. Well, here in a minute, I turn back to my left, and the Australian dude that's shooting pool, he knocks the 8-ball and parks it right in the corner pocket, but it doesn't sink. So he gets up to take his next shot, and of course he calls the 8-ball in the corner. That's the last ball left on his side on the table, and he takes a shot, and it ricochets around and misses that 8-ball. And he walks over to the corner and he blows on that 8-ball and it falls in the pocket. And then Lurch comes over there. Lurch is just standing there and he puts one hand on each hip and rears back and goes, ha, 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 and just does this lumberjack laugh. And I had just tipped my beer up to my mouth and I blew beer all over that bar and her and the mama-san and everybody else. And I was choking and slapping my knee and I was laughing so stinking hard. The next morning I wake up and my sides hurt and my face hurt from all the laughing. And man, I think I intended to have one beer. I think I stayed for 2. So it's not like I was there a long time and it's not like I drank myself. My head hurt from just laughing and laughing and laughing all night. Well, for 2 beers. But yeah, I thought that was a special night to remember. Something else about the Ladyboys, you come to Thailand, you respect their culture. Things are different over here. So if a ladyboy comes up to you and approaches you, they may touch you. Don't hit them. If you hit one, you're probably going to get your butt kicked by 4 to 6 other ladyboys, and that's not a story you want to take home and tell everybody that you got beat up by a bunch of men in dresses. That's not funny. So just politely decline. Watch your jewelry. There was one that got busted for stealing some dude's necklace. I think it's been a couple of years ago now, but they come up and put their arms around your neck like my first encounter. And but yeah, just be polite and decline. And as far as being able to identify ladyboys, it's not so hard. Most of the time, there's all different stages of the thing. Like you go to Central Festival, you want to go to a restaurant, and there's liable to be a guy who's basically a hostess, and he'll be wearing lipstick and a little blush on his cheeks or something like that. Thought I heard something. But yeah, there's a lot of men dressed like men and just put on a little makeup. And then there's the full blown with the breast implants and the plastic surgery. They spend quite a bit of money to fool you. And believe me, you're not above getting fooled. One more thing, quick little side note. I think it's really cool that they're called ladyboys here. In the USA, we call them trans, and people like me, you might call a transphobe, which really gets under my skin. It's like a Jedi mind trick, okay? The suffix phobe. Phobe is a suffix designed to make me feel like there's a problem with me. It's a psychological term. Hydrophobia is the fear of water. Or I guess there's other types of phobias. Arachnophobia is the fear of spiders. And I'm not afraid of trans people. And if you have a phobia, your psychologist is trying to tell you there's something wrong with you. Well, there's nothing wrong with me as a red-blooded American boy being repulsed at the idea of another dude wanting to do things with me, hug and kiss and other things.
Nasty!
There's nothing wrong with that. In America, the trans people, they want you to play along, all right? They're gonna pretend to be a girl, and then they want you to play along and pretend to be fooled by it. And I'm just not into that, okay? You're not a woman. If you're born with male parts, you're just not a woman. Sorry. I don't care how you feel. I don't care how you dress. You know, I can saw off my leg and cut off my hand and have a hook and a peg and put an eye patch on. It doesn't make me any more of a pirate. It makes me somebody that is jacked up. And yeah, I'm not going to mutilate my body and put on a costume and insist that you call me a pirate or a cat or a reptile or whatever. You don't get to be, you know, yeah, if you want to be an astronaut, be an astronaut. If you want to be a kitten, dude, there's something wrong with you. I'm normal. I'm the normal one. So don't call me a transphobe. Don't expect me to call you a woman. And over here in Thailand, I think they've solved it perfectly. They call them ladyboys and tomboys, okay? A ladyboy is a term used to admit that it's a guy who identifies as a lady. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't have any problem with that. And man, they're here, but they don't like get all irate and parade and get up in your face and get angry and stuff like they do in America. So I think that's a great solution in America if everybody would just quit playing their games, quit arguing with them. Don't call them trans, call them ladyboys. And the women that want to dress up like lumberjacks, go ahead. But we're going to call you tomboys from now on, okay? Because you're a female dressing up to be a man. And that's cool over here. And as far as the bathroom thing goes over here, I don't know what the issue is with it, but I've never been in a men's room and seen a dude in a dress walk in and stand at the urinal next to me. I've heard about it, but I don't know if it's true or not. It's something I haven't seen. Their bathroom policies are different around here, and that's going to take a little getting used to. So, but Terminal 21, man, you need to go check out the bathroom in Terminal 21. They have like these toilets with heated seats, and they spray you down and all that good stuff. But when you walk in, there's probably going to be a woman bathroom attendant, and I see that everywhere. The women bathroom attendants are in there working, and the men are in there taking care of their business, and they don't go anywhere. So that's just how they are over here. The other day I was in a nice hotel. They had a breakfast buffet, 250 baht for all you can eat buffet. So yeah, I took odd just for a little, you know, celebration type thing. And we had the buffet. Well, here in a minute, you know, I need to get up and go to the restroom. I walk in, there's one restroom for men and women. There is a lock on the door, but it didn't appear to be something that you would be inclined to use, because each sit-down commode had a closable, lockable door on it. And the urinals against the wall were in a separate room. So you walk in, if you're a guy, you need to, you know, take a leak. You go into a separate room where the women can walk in and they're not going to see you. They can walk to their stall, shut the door, and lock it. There's no weird stuff going on. I don't hear about any women getting attacked in the restrooms over here. I guess part of that is probably because the sex trade, I believe it's illegal, but it's not enforced. So I know men for, you know, a little bit of nothing can go out and rent a girl and take care of whatever business they want to take care of. They don't have to rape anybody in a ladies' room or a men's room. So you don't hear about that. I don't hear about that. Somebody else might, but I don't. The other thing is not uncommon to see men, you know, taking a leak on the side of the highway. They just pull over and take care of their business. I believe it's the Pattaya bus terminal, one of the Pattaya bus terminals. I don't know how many there are. It seems like it was Pattaya. We pulled in, and in the parking lot where they have these big turnaround places where the buses can turn around and take off. The men's urinals are right up against the wall. They're mounted to the wall on the outside of the building, and the men are standing there with their backs turned to the buses coming through the parking lot. So over here it's they don't make such a big deal of it as they do in the United States. And I'm not saying I care for it one way or another. I'm just telling you how it is. So anyway, just a little side note. And I'd kind of like to do a whole video on bathrooms, because you can go from extremely sophisticated stuff like at the Terminal 21 Mall with the heated seats and the push buttons. They actually have directions mounted on the wall how to use the restroom in Terminal 21 and what all the controls are on your seat. It's like a captain's chair on a spaceship or something, you know. But you can probably walk right across the street and get a hold of one of those little primitive squatty potties. So yeah, you may think, you know, being an adult, you know how to use the restroom, but it's a whole different ball game over here. And also, you know, without ruining my next video about toilet and how to take care of your business over here, you don't flush your paper down the toilet over here. If you do, you'll get in trouble. If you do it in your hotel room, you will clog the pipes, and they will fine you for it. And they get pretty annoyed. So, you know, just to let you know. Anyway, I think that's about all I've got for you guys today. And just thought I'd share some interesting stories. I know I've got like 2 more Ladyboy stories, but for the life of me, I can't think of what they are right now. And I will sleep on it. I'll probably think about it about the time this video is premiering. So if y'all catch the premiere, hit me up in the chat. Really enjoy connecting with my viewers that way. So anyway, I think that's going to wrap it up on this one. And I appreciate everybody watching. I love you guys. And I'll be back in Texas soon. We'll be creating a bunch of content for my Thai viewers. I have over 50% of my viewers are here in Thailand, by the way. So I'll be showing those guys what I do in Texas around my hometown. I'm not going to go too far. Hopefully we'll get a trip to New Braunfels this year, and maybe we'll go tube the river and check out some of those German smokehouses and stuff like that. But that may be about as far as I get. Got a lot of work to do when I get back to Texas. And but I think we're going to wrap this one up. I'll catch you guys next time. Love you very much, and adios amigos.